Right, let's try this again. Yo, what's up guys? How y'all doing? Hope y'all doing well. Welcome into my live, everybody. Feel free to ask questions. Yeah, not seeing anyone just yet. Come talk to me, somebody. What is going on? Somebody talk to me, please. Oh, somebody's there. Hello, who's this? Welcome in. Hope you're doing well, whoever is watching. Come and chat with me. You alright? Yeah, so like I said earlier, I was like out busking today. Went pretty well. Hello, Kivante. Welcome back. So yeah, so I went busking today, went pretty well. Natalie, welcome back. Get the likes up, everybody. And I had a really good time, actually. You know, it took me a while to get going, really. I was like a bit kind of, at the beginning, you know, it took me a bit to, you know, mentally get myself ready for it. But, you know, once I get into it, and especially once I start getting a few tips, it really helps to build my confidence up and be like, okay, you know, I feel more confident, and I started to sing louder, and that's when, you know, the tips really start to flow in. And hello XXL, how you doing? Good evening to you. I'll tell all my friends to watch this. Okay, cool, yeah. Everyone, yeah, share it out. It would be really appreciated. You know, the more people you can get to, you know, to come in here, then the merrier. You know, it's just, yeah, I want to get it busy in here, you know. So yeah, it's been another hot day today here where I am. Supposed to start cooling down a little bit from tomorrow, but yes, I did it. Okay, well, you shared it out to your friends. So where are you from anyway, Kivante? Hello, Colloidal. What are you talking about? I was just talking about how I went busking today and made you know, some good money from that. So I'm going to try and, you know, keep doing that. I'm just going to keep becoming successful. And or is this the one, Colloidal? Is this the one that Kivante's brought in? So where are you guys from anyway? Tell us about yourselves. So, but I mainly talk about, you know, success, lifestyle, health, fitness, things like that. That's mainly what I'm about. You know, talk about, you know, making money, talk about, you know, becoming more attractive. I talk about health, how to optimize your health and your well-being, your mental, your physical health. Hello, new money, sir. Good to see you again. I want to see your body. Oh, really? We can do that if you like. Let me just take the top off here. There you go. There's my body. What do you think? Yeah. I should have like took my top off earlier and just like got a tan, but yeah. I don't know. Maybe I would have been seen as a bit, I don't know, of a trashy or something. But then again, maybe it would have attracted more people. Who knows? But yeah, that's the. What's that? Keep working on 240, dropping weight. Oh yeah. I'm roughly around 190 at 6'4", but yeah. I mean, it's a pretty good weight, but yeah. What are you about, bro? But yeah, I've been putting on weight. Like, I used to be very, very skinny, and yeah. I'm actually gonna go on a weight loss phase next week for about 3 weeks. I'm just gonna cut off that last little bit of fat. Just want to really get in the best shape ever. Who knows, maybe I could be like a model. Maybe I could be a male model, eh? I have no friends, broski. Why is that then? But yeah, you don't necessarily need friends, but the right friends can actually really benefit your life. Hello Dundee, welcome back. How you doing? Hope you're well. So yeah, like, you know, quality friends over quantity friends is what I'd say. Newman Sir says, how much you take to make this body? Depends on your genetics, really. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I hope everyone's had a good day. Thank you for the likes, everyone. Much appreciated. Share this out if you can, everyone. Let's try and get some more people in here. The more the merrier. Yeah. So yeah, tell us all what you've been up to. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm trying to, your Instagram ID, what is it? Jamie Brown, JB95. There'll be 15 or 50, 15 of them will be watching. Tax, thank you for the sub. Welcome in, Tax. How's it going? Good evening to you. Nice to meet you. I drop about 10 pounds this month with good diet and working with 70 pound weighted versus for 1 to 2 weighted vest. Is that what you mean? Yeah, that could be a good exercise to, you know, resistance training. Yeah, to help you drop more weight off. Yeah. Yeah, you should probably do some like full body workouts, like do some, you know, squats. Squats are really good. You can do, you know, rolls for your back, or you can do pull-ups. You can do push-ups for your chest. You can do different angles with push-ups, so you can do pike push-ups. You get more shoulders with that. You can do, there's a few other ones you can do, but you just want to focus on compound lifts that target, you know, multiple groups of muscles and stuff. What country is it? Is it, you know, it's not morning, it's evening here right now in the UK. Hi, Tax, how you doing? Dundee said, okay, Jim. Okay, what, sorry? Yeah. Anyway, good evening to you all. Hope you've all had a blessed day. Share the live out if you can. Sharing is caring. So yeah, let's keep this flowing, guys. It's literally morning now. Oh yeah, where are you in Dundee? It's afternoon in this location of US. Oh yeah, whereabouts in the US are you? I'm in York, England here. It's like, what time is it? It is 8:40 p.m. right now here in the UK. So yeah, it's still light though for like another hour because it's summertime and stays light pretty late. Oh, Michigan. Oh yeah. You're not in Detroit, are you, by any chance? I've heard it's pretty rough most of there. Yeah, wouldn't want to live around there, I don't think. Sounds like pretty rough. Where are you from, Tax, anyway? Anyway, share this out if you can, guys. Or Pontiac. Is that a place in Michigan? Is that where because I remember there was a car called Pontiac. Yeah, there's a Pontiac. Hello, OMG players, good to see you again. Yo, Jimmy, you're hardworking, bro. No sarcasm, 100% truth, brother. Yeah, thank you. I was out busking today, just like Detroit. Is it another place like Detroit? Is it? I'm from Norway, says Dundee. Oh, really? How is it morning? Is it? Do you mean as in because it's like almost midnight up there or something? Like almost at the Arctic Circle, aren't you, up in Norway? Yeah. So why is your name Dundee anyway? If you're not from Dundee, taxes from the UK. Oh yeah. Anyway, share this out if you can, guys. MG, tell others. Yeah. Get some more people in here, guys. The more the merrier. Yeah, so what's with the name then? Dundee. I'm actually bilingual. Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I mean, I learnt a bit of French at school, but I'm not very fluent in it though. I know like some random stuff though. Like I know a few different animal names. Like dog is a Xian, a cat is a Sha, a snake is a serpon or a serpent. What other ones? There's Lapan is rabbit. Yeah. Like that. So it's like I learnt all these like pointless things, I guess, but it's like I wouldn't even be able to have a proper conversation with people. I'd have to brush up on my French if I was sure to be. Oh, thank you, Tax, much appreciated. But maybe learning a new language is a good skill, or not even a skill. It's just good knowledge to have, I guess, if you're in a certain place. Because some say that learning different languages really like unlocks the world to you. Because people talk about the world is your oyster, but I think learning different languages might be a good way to really unlock it. I just speak a little Spanish. Oh yeah, because if you're in a country where they don't speak a lot of English, then you might want to brush up on that language so that you can better communicate with those people. I don't have a wife, no. Why? Anyway, share the live out if you can, people. Yeah, I'm probably not. I might just stay on until 9 and then call it a night. Might do something else. But I've had a good day today, so that's good. Yeah. So that's what matters is, you just gotta do things you enjoy doing with your life. Instead of just being stuck in your rut, feeling sorry for yourself. Only you can change that. Only you can force yourself out of that situation. It's like, why are you doing that? Is it because you feel uncomfortable? It's like I made in the video before, so many people feel, like they're not comfortable with getting out of their rut, because it's like, they've gotten so used to that way of life that any disruption to that is chaos. So I think that's what it is to people. It's like it's the routine. It's when we get into routines that we don't want to break them. It's like because it's what our brain has become. It's like that's all it wants to do then. So, but you've got to force yourself out of it. And a lot of it comes down to working with your chimp mind. There's this thing called the chimp paradox. It's actually a book that talks all about this, like how we all have a chimp in our brain, which is like the fight or flight, or the reactive part of the brain, the really kind of that's the part of the brain that will quite often be irrational, and it'll make decisions based on emotions rather than logic. So we have to become aware of that and think logically, be like, well, what could possibly go wrong? It's like, all I'm doing is going out and, meeting people. Why am I so bothered about what these people think? So what if they don't accept me? That's okay. I'll find a new group. It could be that part of the brain, it's like, because from tribal times, that if we weren't accepted by a tribe, that we would fear our life. But we have to tell our brain that it's like, it's safe. Hello, Rad. Well, it's Rad Tingle, isn't it? You changed your name. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. And yeah, I did go busking today, and it went pretty well. Yeah, so I made it went pretty well, thank you. Yeah, I had someone helping me out with it today. Yeah, he helped me, get some stuff set up, and so I really appreciate all the support that he was doing, and yeah, so it's good to have some nice person to help you out with things. No, I was singing, so yeah, first time ever trying the singing. Hello, Misty, welcome back. First time ever trying to do singing as my busking, but it went better than when I did beatboxing, because with beatboxing you're niching yourself down. I mean, unless you're like really, really good, you're probably not going to make that much. I saw this guy doing it in Manchester a few times, and he's really good at it, and he can make a decent living from that, but he's like top tier. So unless you're like really outstanding with it, then people are not really gonna, a lot of people aren't even gonna stop and listen, unless you like really, really stand out. You have to really be something else if you're gonna do well with that, I think. But when it comes to singing, if you're relatively good at it, then you can probably do well. Yeah, I earned some money. Yeah, I earned some tips. Well, the guy I was with, he threw a few quid in to start off with, but quite a few people were throwing some money, so it adds up. It all adds up. Every little helps. I think one of them even threw something like 4 quid or something in one go, so that was really good. That, it really adds up, doesn't it? So you get some random people throwing a quid or 2 quid or whatever, and it all adds up, doesn't it? So yeah, but I was thinking in terms of like, is it good to maybe have my contactless payment thing set up for people to do? I've got that on my phone, but I've never used it as a. Maybe I could double the amount of money I could make if I used that, because not many people carry cash anymore. I was actually surprised. I mean, actually wasn't really surprised at how much money I got, because I mean, I've seen people in town, making like that much money. So it's just that when I've done beatboxing before, that it's just not a very, profitable niche, I don't think. Hello, Jack. How you doing? Hope you're all doing well tonight. Share the live out if you can. QR code set up for Venmo or Cash App. I've got a QR code for PayPal, but not many people. Not everybody uses PayPal, but maybe I could use that as an option. Maybe I should take that next time as that could be an option for some people, but how many people really would? Yeah, I've got it on a laminated piece of paper. I mean, I could get it out and show you, but I didn't. I should have took it with me. I forgot, but that could be an extra source of income. But I mean, I did a few random stuff. Really, it was quite a. Yeah, we can donate. A few random. Type of songs I've played. Anything from like I did. Like what was it called? I did. Word Up was one of my songs, and then I did frickin' Limp Bizkit. I mean, maybe some of those songs that I did maybe weren't the best choices, but I wanted to try and mix things up a bit, and I'm not really that into singing pop songs, if I'm honest. But you've got to just like try and find the right balance, and a bit rainy. Yeah, we had some really sunny weather here. Anyway, hope you've all had a good day today. Share me out if you can. Let's try and get some more people in here. Yeah, tap your screen. Yeah, so yeah, I hope you've all had a blessed day. Yeah, come and talk to me. Yeah, thank you for joining me tonight, guys. Yeah, I'm only going to be on a few more minutes, I think. Will you try out BGT or X Factor? Didn't X Factor stop? But hello, John. What time is it? It is nearly 9 p.m. What about you, where you are, John? Welcome in, John. Make sure you subscribe if you're new here. Yeah, it's been in the 30s Celsius, oh really? Have you managed to record your performance? The guy, oh, Seattle, oh yeah. Have you ever been up Space Needle? This guy that was supporting me, he recorded it, but I don't really want to look at it, to be honest, because, yeah, but he recorded it, but it's just that I couldn't record it from my phone because I was using my phone to do to put the songs on it. So unless I got two phones, I may end up with a second phone perhaps. Hello Dexter, welcome in. Opinions on psychopaths. I mean, what do you mean opinions on psychopaths? What a question. Just trying to get time conversion for live streams. Space Needle, no. Right, okay. Yeah, would you ever go up there? Yeah, time conversion, yeah, it's like, so yeah, you're like, is it 8 hours behind me? Were you singing then? Sorry, I've lost connection. Yeah, I was singing, yeah. So yeah, I wouldn't do Britain's Got Talent, I don't think, because from what I've heard is that, it's not, what people think it is, and there's a lot of bullshit going on with it, and like when they say that you get like $250,000 prize or whatever the prize is, that's not straight up money that you get. You then have to have a contract with some company. It's all like, yeah, it's like, I remember this guy and he was going through all of the terms and conditions when you sign up for Britain's Got Talent, because so many people will just sign up, not look at all of that because, it's pages and pages of documents, and they just blindly go into it, and they basically sell their soul, and they get took over. I mean, it's just really, although it's quite corrupt in that, but yeah. Opinions on people who lack empathy. Should they be punished for something they can't control? I mean, it's not about punishment, but rather, I guess, protecting them away from society is what it's about. I mean, I think sometimes people need to be punished, but like if you're a legit psychopath, then you just need to be away from society. Maybe put on an island somewhere, I don't know. Like prison island, I don't know really, but it's just keep them away from society because they're a threat, because they're psychopaths. What can you do? Unless there's some drug to like make them antipsychotic or something. There's like antipsychotic drugs or something, but it's not necessarily going to work for everybody, is it? Oregon State Prison, we have lots of psychopaths. Yeah. So what do you think then? So you just think they should be locked up then? I mean, it's like someone's just like lacks empathy, then it's like, well, we can't have them going around and killing or torturing people because, like they don't deserve that to have it happen to them. They need to be restrained. Like, I mean, I believe in freedom. I believe in, freedom to a point where it's not imposing on someone else's freedom and liberty. So, yeah. Do you think it's fair that they were born with it or abused as a child? I think there's probably like an element of both. But if it's something that can't be done no matter what, kind of therapy or whatever, rehabilitation, then there's nothing else you can do. You have to just keep them locked away from society. Like, you can try, but we're just talking about the psychopaths, whether they should be locked up because they lack empathy or what. I mean, because you might say, well, they can't help it or whatever, and is it something that they were born with, or is it something that they were, happened as like a trauma response from child abuse? Because that could be, in some cases, a trauma response that they end up just completely, it's like complete dissociation, like they don't associate with anything outside themselves. They're in this very kind of like, they don't feel any, like it's like other people were like just robots basically. It's like you're just like in a video game and everyone else is just like an NPC. You just see it as a game. Hello Anton, good to see you again. It's like they just see it as a game, like it's just kill people, who cares, just have a very kind of warped perception of reality or something. It's the child abuse issue is common with out inmates, particularly the mentally ill, yeah. So what do you suggest should be done about psychopaths then? Do you think there's ever like a way to to solve that then, or what? Anyway, hope you've all had a blessed day today. Share the live out if you can. I'll really appreciate it. I'm going to put it on the community tab, I think, so hopefully that brings some more people in. Yeah, so just bear with me a second, guys. Just going to share myself out. So yeah, do you think like they should just be locked up in prison for life then, or because they're a threat to society, or what? So but I don't believe in letting someone be allowed into society to cause harm to other people. I mean, it would be like letting a lion out into the wild, letting a lion out into the public, letting the lion out of the cage. I mean, that's what it would be like, basically, letting a psychopath back out into society, wouldn't it? So once we do that, crime rate should drop significantly. What's that? Once we do what, sorry? However, money is an issue, right? You're on about like to put them all behind bars. Yeah, but the thing is that a lot of crimes happen because of people not earning enough money. So you've got deprived areas where crime is rampant. And I believe that the majority of crime is caused by people who lack something, like they lack money, or they lack, maybe they're lonely single guys, for example. You see all these, these like incel murderers. I'm not like trying to defend them or anything, but when people don't have something, they will either try to force it on somebody, or they'll force it off somebody, or they'll become terrorists. So yeah, like for example, if these guys can't get, I'm not saying they all will, but of course, as most of these people are not going to become radicalized, but some of them have more predisposed to actually become radicalized than most people, because most people don't really lack that much there. But when you are disenfranchised, or you are incredibly poor, then when you're in a very desperate time, then that can cause a lot of people to want to do crime in order to get what they feel like is rightfully theirs, or maybe that they feel like they need that or something. So in order to fix that, you would have to make sure that everyone's needs are met, which is obviously easier said than done. you have good insights. So yeah, but of course, there's obviously like legitimate psychopaths. We're not talking about that, but I think we need to look at like the mindset of the criminal and like how we can solve it. Like the male loneliness thing, for example, is a big issue right now, and it only seems to be getting worse. And it seems to be largely autistic men, which maybe are a bit more neurotic, you could say, on average. I tend to find I'm a bit neurotic, to be honest with you. Hello, Ayu, welcome in. You know, I can be a bit neurotic, I can do some crazy stuff, but I realise a lot of it's down to not having your needs met. Like, someone might be perceived as throwing a tantrum, but it's like, if their needs were met, then they wouldn't have reacted that way. So I think in some cases we have to kind of course, sometimes it takes self-responsibility, but it also takes people just being kind and just having patience with people and trying to help them, you know, to, you know, do what they want to do with their life, so that it doesn't result in them becoming radicals or becoming criminals in some way. So rehabilitation is key. Yeah, I think we've got to, you know, but I mean, I did go through a phase of like thinking that, you know, like death penalty and all that, but it's like, thing is though, it's like, you know, it's like there's all these, you know, in America you've got all these states that do death penalty and all that, but thing with it, when you think like that, then it's like you're not thinking like, well, you know, maybe these people could be turned around if given the right help. But it's like they don't want to help them because maybe that would mean, you know, giving them a leg up maybe and helping them to, you know, maybe it's just, I don't know, it's just like they've deliberately made society just become so broken, like they've made everyone so poor, you know, like people just struggling to get by, you know, there's hardly, you know, enough money to go around the, you know, the poor people. The rich people are just holding on to like so much wealth. I mean, so there's a lot of people that are just giving up and they're just, you know, they're just staying at home with their parents and just rotting away on their computer games. There's a thing called the hikikomori. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's it was started with this like Japanese community of like people just usually staying at home with their parents and just, you know, just going on video games all day as an escapism. They're afraid to deal with society, and but you know, this whole loneliness thing is just, it's been facilitated by, you know, computers, because without all the technology that we have, we wouldn't have been able to do it. So I think that technology has had a massive, you know, massively involved with the problems that we face today. You know, even when it comes to the dating issues that we face today with, you know, a lot of, you know, the lonely men and even lonely women who are kind of struggling as well, but especially with lonely men, not just when it comes to dating, but men, you know, not really having a lot of friends in the real world. And I think a lot of it's just that it's easier to make friends online because you don't have to face actually going out there in the real world. It's a lot easier just to, you know, to go on your freaking Xbox Live or whatever crap that they use to make friends, or they go on the, you know, their Steam, you know, chat rooms or Reddit chat rooms and different forums and stuff. It's a lot easier to do that than it is to actually go out and make new friends, and then, you know, from that you could have a relationship forming. So, but they're not even giving it a try, a lot of them. They've thrown the towel in way too early. There's these guys that are like early 20s and they're saying, oh, I'm giving up, it's over for me, I'm black-pilled because I'm not good looking. And the thing is, most of them are average looking. Most guys are average looking, but they've probably got autism and or something like that, or they're kind of neurotic in some way, and they just don't have the skills, maybe because they just never really had a lot of friends as a kid, so they didn't have the they didn't have all the they didn't grow up with a lot of the social cues because they weren't around like the street, like the wise children of the time, like that, like they didn't. So, if you're on your own, you play the video games, like how can you become streetwise? How can you become, sort of socially intelligent when all you're doing is just hanging out in these degenerate chat rooms all day? That's why prison sentences are usually light, since it's too much funding into prisons. Yeah, exactly. The same could be said about the Vatican. What about the Vatican? Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, like, prison system doesn't want to help. What do you mean they don't want to help? No medication comes closer to a relationship with Jesus. Well, I mean, I'm not really into like the whole Jesus thing, but I respect that everyone's got their own, beliefs and stuff. Anyway, share this out if you can, guys. Let's try and get some more people in here. But yeah. But yeah, I think that's a good point about, this, because it's like the taxpayers are the ones paying for the prison sentences. Yeah, which is a frustrating thing where it's like, it's the people who are law-abiding that pay into the system. They have to pay for these degenerates to, to be protected from society. And yeah, it's sad, but thing is, it's probably the society is actually, or the system has actually caused it in the first place. Like I said, in a lot of cases, there's just not enough support for people. There's not enough, to help people with whatever they're going through. There's, people might be going through hard times financially. Maybe their health is going through a downturn, and then they end up relying on drugs to try and help with them, and then they go to prison for doing drugs, and it's like, but it's like, the thing is, it's like, if it was the system wasn't so corrupt, then maybe people wouldn't be resorting to crazy stuff. It's like, you got all these people on alcohol who, hello Richard, good to see you. All the people on the alcohol doing all this stuff because, how their life sucks, but their life sucks because of how the systems, kind of, how it operates in a lot of cases. Of course, there is some, self-responsibility there, but we've got to be somewhat responsible as a society. I think as like, we've got to take some responsibility for it. I think that we should all be trying to support each other. We should be looking out for each other. If someone's struggling, then we should be trying to, give them advice and support, and not just like, just ignore them and just like, because there's so many people suffering, and we need to start, I think, taking more care, because if we don't, then these people will just become, I think more of these people will just become radicalized if we don't actually start giving a damn about other people. So I actually see a lot of it as a consequence of societies just, kind of, basically we're seeing like an erosion of society happening as we speak. And yeah, I know that might sound a bit pessimistic, or maybe, maybe you think it sounds a bit harsh, but I mean, I just see the way things are going. Like, morals just don't seem to be like they were. It's like I was saying earlier, when you see someone with a good moral compass, it's like it's a breath of fresh air, because it seems like most of the people nowadays are just don't really care that much. Hello Misty, welcome back. Like, most people just don't really care that much. They're just kind of going along to get along. So whenever you see someone that's actually really quite supportive and helping you out, then it is quite refreshing, and it's moments like that you really appreciate it. You really appreciate being alive in those moments, because like, wow, I actually see that someone does care, and like, it sort of restores your faith in humanity. But there's so many people out there that just are not very thoughtful. I know, like, in sometimes it's difficult because we've got this cost of living crisis, and people are struggling to get by a lot now. So they've got to deal with all their problems. I understand that, but a lot of that's just because of how corrupt things are, and people are accepting low wages. It's like, it just blows my mind because basically the stuff that we buy, it's like it should be getting cheaper. The technology to make it is more efficient. It should cost less money to make, but yet it's costing more and more and more, and wages aren't keeping up with that. So people need to really start questioning these things. Why is it that the prices keep going up, but yet they're costing less and less to make? The production costs are going down. I mean, I was thinking in terms of like earlier, right? How you get in these shops now? They're like not automated, but they have self-checkouts. So they're basically getting rid of a lot of the employees at these places. So the cheaper. That means that they're cutting costs of employees, but the products are not getting cheaper. They're getting more and more expensive. So it's all just so that they can make more profit. So it's all just going to be more and more concentration of wealth at the top, basically, whereas the people at the bottom are just not seeing the benefit of that, and just get like services like cut. And there's an abundance of labor that keeps wages down. Yeah. What do you mean, abundance of labor that keeps wages down? How is it there's more quality mental health work going on in this live stream than there is in a prison mental health unit? That's where I work. Yeah, I know. It's just fact, isn't it? So can you explain yourself, Anton? Like, what do you mean with that about there's an abundance of labor that keeps wages down? So, like, I mean, what you're saying is that it's like, I understand it as like, supply and demand, and that's, generally true that, the greater the supply and the lower the demand, then the less it's going to cost or something. I mean, well, if the supply is high and the demand is low, that brings cost down, whereas when the supply is low and demand is high, the prices go up. So, but that could be manufactured. Like, for example, you would cut down the supply artificially to raise prices. Lots of workers, too few jobs. Yeah. I suppose that's an issue, isn't it? Because, scarcity of labor, but abundance of laborers. So you've got a high supply of workers, but a low supply of jobs. So you've got too many workers going for too few jobs. So that way that means that job is more valuable. Therefore, they don't need to actually like pay as much for that position or something. I don't know. It's just it's really quite. It's kind of corrupt because it's like your labor should be worth the same amount, like regardless of what the demand is. Like, I don't know. It's just, but it is what it is. That's just the system that we're in. It's corrupt, but there's nothing we can really do about it. The only thing you can really do is to start something, like if your own business or start freelancing or something. Richard says, cup of tea should never be allowed to be £3. It's one tea bag with water. Even with cost of living, you can get 100 bags for the cost of one cup. I know, it's a scandal, isn't it? Like, you've got Starbucks costing, what, £8 for a freaking cup of coffee? Like, are you having a laugh? Like, how is it? I mean, I just don't get it. Like, how can it be so expensive? Am I missing something here? I get that you obviously have to pay customers, but still, like, how is it? How many cups of coffee are being drunk every hour in that place? How many workers are you hiring to make those cups of coffee? Because when you work it out, those workers are massively being undercut for their labour. They're probably getting a fraction of what they should be getting. People still paying it though. Yeah, suckers will pay. I will never go to somewhere like that to buy an expensive cup of coffee. It's like, I remember you had those freaking Beyond Burgers. You know those, like, fake meat burgers? Like, I think when they came out, they were like £6 or something like that. Really, really expensive burgers. And it's like, do they really cost that much to make? I mean, most of the costs are probably going to be in the transportation and the packaging, a lot of it. And, you know, it's like the actual product itself probably ain't going to cost that much more to make. I just don't see how it can really cost that much more to make. I just think it's a huge rip-off. They're just exploiting that it's because it's plant-based that people will buy it. Suckers will pay. And eventually these things will come down in price, but you know, when it's this new fancy thing, they can just, like, yeah, they can just milk it, can't they? Even out of coffee machines, it's that price. Yeah, I know. It's a scandal, isn't it? It's, yeah. I mean, people need to just start brewing their own, I think. You get people going to prep for like an, you know, £8 sandwich. Like, what is the point? Hello, Sports Love Tony. What are your views on the power of purpose and how to love yourself? Yeah, I think everyone needs to have a purpose. Like, you need to find something that you... I think actually finding something to do that is, you know, greater than you. It's like, for example, you know, starting some kind of, you know, like you could start, you know, like doing charity work or something like that, or volunteering. That can give people purpose. I think that's a good bit of advice, but yeah, I think that can definitely help. It feels good to be part of something greater than you. But yeah, loving yourself. You know, you got to love yourself, because I think that it actually can help you to receive love from out of you. When they see you as loving yourself, then you're going to get more respect from others. Because you're not someone that they can easily be like walked all over, because you are. You know, you take care of yourself. You set healthy boundaries. That's what self-love and self-respect is about. It's about setting healthy boundaries and prioritizing you. And it's like, you have to be selfish to be selfless, is what I think. You have to, you know, so that you can achieve your goals, prioritize your mental health, your physical health, because then you can be a better service to others then. So I think it's really important that, and then you can, you know, better live your purpose. You know, if your mental health is messed up, then how can you really be a good service to other people? I mean, yeah, you could be you know, maybe you could still be a service to somebody, but I don't think you're going to be optimal if your mental health isn't 100%. So yeah. Anyway, but yeah, just like I was saying earlier, you know, people going to prep for dinner, or lunch rather, wherever you are. I mean, we call it dinner in the north, but yeah, some of us anyway. But yeah, going, you know, let's just say you spend, you know, £10 at prep. You go get yourself a sandwich or some wrap, you know, a little drink and a, you know, banana or whatever, and you're like, oh, I'm so posh. I went to prep for. But you just lost a bunch of money. Or you go to Costa Coffee or a Starbucks and spend a few pounds, get yourself a coffee, and it's like, And then you get people going out at the weekend, blowing money up in smoke. They're going to nightclubs, getting expensive drinks. They're going to takeaways and getting expensive food, and then they get then they'll probably share a taxi home. And even if you've got 3-4 people in a taxi, they might be going 10-20 miles down the road, and they might be spending a few quid each person. These things add up. All these expenses are massive. And on top of that, some of these people just go around with designer brands on. They're trying to look rich. Sometimes they'll buy cars on finance. They're just trying to look rich, buying like they might get this like fancy BMW or Mercedes Benz, and like it costs like 30 grand, 40 grand, whatever. But they bought it on finance, so it's now costing them maybe 700 to maybe £1,000 a month to rent it, which is just absolutely like financially devastating. They're paying back loads of interest on that. It is completely insane. Like their life trajectory is not looking good doing all that stuff. Of course, not everybody does that. How much for a kilo of bananas in the UK? Depends where you go. You can go to the cheap shops, and I'd probably get like a kilo for about something like, let me think, I could get 3 for 50p, something like, I'm just trying to think in my head, probably about, let me think. I think it'd be a couple of quid, maybe something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but it's not like really expensive for bananas. It's like one of the cheaper fruits. I mean, there's a fair good amount of calories in bananas. Dates is another option that's quite cheap as well. It's a dried fruit, so you get quite a dense source of calories in that. So yeah, and they're all quite healthy. So I mean, some might argue bananas are not that healthy, but I think if you eat them in moderation, they're pretty decent. They're better than having refined sugar, I would say. If you're not a diabetic, then I don't see the harm in eating bananas. I think they're a good source of carbohydrates if you're doing exercise or something. And yeah. Anyway, but yeah, a lot of the like the dried fruits are still quite cheap, but a lot of the vegetables are quite expensive. A lot of the like your berries and things like that. Look at how much how expensive strawberries are. It's like freaking strawberry season, but yet they're expensive. Like, how are they so expensive? It's strawberry season. I don't know. I mean, even for like wonky strawberries, they're still quite expensive. It just blows my mind like how things can be so expensive like that, You thought they'd be more expensive. Yeah, I mean, they're not like super expensive. Like I said, it depends on where you get them from, really. Yeah, it's not like super expensive. But a quid is like more than a Australian dollar, you got to remember. But yeah, it's about almost $2 Australian, I think. But another thing I want to talk about is that with the inflation, it's like even if you try and save money, it's like the money isn't really worth anything unless you invest it in something. If you just put your money in a bank account, you're losing value over time. You're just being robbed. It's like a stealth tax. You're literally being robbed. Like every single day, your money is worth less and less. So unless you hold it in some high interest savings account or in some like index fund, but there is risk to that. But apparently the S&P 500 has held up pretty strong. Apart from obviously we're in a recession and all that, but if you don't put more money in than you're willing to lose, then you can like hold out through a bad economic time and and wait it out until the economy bounces back. Because that's the good thing about like having a buffer, because then you can hold out through the bad times, like, because you don't know what could happen with like recessions, depressions and stuff. But if you can like have an emergency fund that you still have left over, then you're not going to be, pulling out all of your investment fund, because that's quite dangerous if you do that, because you could risk losing a lot of money doing that. So chopped up fruit in a plastic box is like £3, so many people waste money because they're too lazy to prepare food. Yeah, I know. Are you on about like what is it? What's it called? Like dole and stuff like that. Like tinned pineapples and tinned peaches and stuff like that. Yeah, it's probably not ideal. It's quite processed, I think, some of these things. Like tinned peaches, it's like, I mean, tinned peaches have had the skin taken off them, so probably not the best. I do quite like peaches, but yeah, I just like to eat a peach like straight up. Like, I mean, I'll eat the skin on it as well. I like apricots as well. It's just they're darn expensive though. Melon, you can get like 8 bits, buy a melon and do it yourself, get 10 times more. Yeah, exactly. But it's this whole kind of like instant gratification thing. People don't want to actually do any kind of work. It's like how people would rather go to Pret or go to Subway for a sandwich at dinner time instead of preparing their own sandwich. It would take them a few minutes. You could literally prepare yourself a meal, something healthy. You could, wholemeal bread, put some, fillings in it, take a banana and some, like, I don't know, some snack maybe. Yeah, something like that. And it would be like dirt cheap. I mean, yeah, literally you can get a banana for like about 20 pence or something like that in this country. Like that's why I worked it out. I think usually a banana is about 100 grams, so you could probably get a kilo for a couple of quid. So yeah, but the thing is that some of these places where you buy a banana where it's like really expensive because they like put a premium on it because of where you're getting it from. But yeah. Yeah, mixed, dried fruit. Yeah, you can get like, mixed like raisins, sultanas. Yeah. Yeah. Jimmy says definitely a lot cheaper eating at home, but I do occasionally like eating out as a treat. Times aren't that tough. Yeah, I mean, it's just that if you want to save up, then it would require sacrificing, is what I'm saying. It's like, I think it's worth it in the long run if you're willing to sacrifice eating out, even if it's just for a year or two. Just prepare your own meals, because then you can get that lump sum of money, whether you want to buy a house or whether you want to, invest that money into a business or something. The thing is, nowadays, you don't even need to invest in a business. I mean, you could do like an e-commerce store or something like that, but maybe you would still need to, put some money into it to begin with. Maybe if you wanted to, for ads, so you can, buy flyers or, online ads or something like that. So it might be good to have some bankroll for that. But if you ever want, if you wanted to buy your own house, whether it's for yourself or to invest, then you're going to need a lump sum for that. Unless you can figure out a way to be able to get into property investing without that. Like, I've heard some different options like lease option agreement and stuff like that, but that could be quite rare to come by something like that. So if in case someone doesn't know what a lease option agreement is, it's like if you basically somebody's like might have negative equity or something like that, where they'll basically give you the option to buy the house if like, but you can rent it out. Basically they might for example, let you rent out a room or something for free with the option to buy it within a given period. So maybe they'll take a cut from it. So it could be an option that some people might let you do. But that wouldn't even require, like any like real startup funds for that. Or you could do like Airbnb arbitrage, where you rent out a property. You rent a property and then rent it out. So yeah, definitely a lot cheaper eating at home. But oh yeah, we read that already. But yeah, like hello, Mum Life 22. I'm alright, thank you. Hope you're doing well yourself. Oh wow, it's 9:30 already. I can't believe it's got to that time. I wasn't even gonna keep it going this long tonight, but got into a good chat. But yeah, I mean, so there are ways that you can invest into property without any like money up front potentially. Like you can not even invest in property, just use properties as a tool to make money. But it's like it might not always be available though. Hey man, I came for some advice again. My GF, whom I thought of wifing up, thinks this other guy is attractive. Well, just fuck her off then. Like, if she just sees you as an option, then she's not worth it, is she? Like, she should see you as the only one that, she should see that you are the only one that could ever be in her life. If she doesn't see that, then she should not be in your life. Yeah, she's for the streets. Yeah, exactly. Hello, Eliza. Is it Eliza Doolittle? Welcome in here. Yeah, good evening to you. Yeah, if they belong to the streets, then just send them out to the streets then. Why would you want to think about wifing someone up who belongs to the streets? What do you think about this whole men going their own way movement? Hello, Joe. Good to see you again. Yeah, I'm alright, thank you. So what do you think about this whole men going their own way movement? I've just been talking about a few things, Joe. I was just talking about, like ways that you can make money from property without, much of a startup cost. But yeah, it's not necessarily that easy to do, but you might be able to find an opportunity, like for example Airbnb arbitrage or something like that. You're always a great help, man. Thanks a lot. Needed a fresh perspective on the matter. Thanks a ton. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, the thing is, I like to tell people what they need to hear, but not what they want to hear. So maybe that's not what you wanted to hear, but I just think you have to find someone who sees you as like that it's like you are the only one in their life, and that they would not want to lose you for somebody else, because you're precious to them. I think the problem is nowadays though, people are seen as disposable. With social media and dating apps, it's so easy to just, what might happen, for example, someone gets in a relationship and there's some tough times in it, and then instead of fighting through those tough times, they give up on it and find somebody else, because it's so easy to do that now. Even, people who get married and they get divorced, it's like instead of them just trying to just fight for the relationship, they give up too easily. So yeah, sometimes having too many options is not a good thing, because it causes people to just give up way too easily. Like, when there's less options, there's actually more value in the options that are available. People don't want you for you, they want you for them not being alone sometimes. Yeah, exactly. It's to fill a void, isn't it, for a lot of people? Like, they don't see you as having any kind of value. You're just a placeholder, basically. Hello, Kyron. Are you single? Oh, really? Nobody asked. It's like a placeholder partner or something. Like a lot of guys will do this where they're desperate because, I don't know, maybe it's because they've been told that, if they're single, then there's something wrong with them. Maybe it's because they've been conditioned by other men that if you're single as a guy, you're a loser. Or, if you've not had a girlfriend, you're a loser if you can't keep a girlfriend or whatever, and you feel like there's something wrong with you. Or maybe it is just the loneliness for some of them that, they just want that company. They want that, but not just a friend, but like that in that romantic way. So, so instead of them trying to work on themselves to be the best version of themselves and hold out for someone that would actually be the best for them, they would actually just take what they can at that moment that might be low quality. Like it might be someone that just they're not really compatible with. They're just kind of, maybe they're both just doing it to cure their own loneliness, which is just sad. They both might have issues, and both of them are not going to be helping each other with that. There's this like codependency, which is unhealthy, that could lead to, like having anxious attachment style. So that's why you've seen a lot of, people that have an anxious attachment style, because in a lot of cases they're very insecure of themselves. They don't really feel like they're worth anything more. Maybe in some cases it's self-inflicted and they've not actually done what they need to do in order to become somebody better. I'm a loser, I keep relationships. What you mean? There's also trauma bonding. Yeah, I've heard about that as well. Yeah, that's what's it? Yeah, it's trauma bonding. Yeah, could you explain a bit more about that? Nobody asked you. Funny. Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's like Richard. I was talking with him earlier, and he was like saying how he said he thinks I'm funny because the way some of my responses, like these dry responses that I make, where I'm just like very like just say it as it is. Like I just say what's on my mind. Like some people find that funny, but yeah. But yeah, so this trauma bonding thing. I mean, I've heard of it, but like, is that when you like, you still have a bond with the abuser? Is that what it is? Is it a bit like Stockholm syndrome sort of thing? Because I've heard of like Stockholm syndrome where you are, is that kind of like what that's like then, or trauma bond is when two people who have been through trauma bond over it, but they're toxic for each other. Yeah. Yeah, sort of like, I mean, there's this whole spiritual thing with it. I think I might be wrong with this, but I've heard a lot of you get a lot of these spiritual people talk about karmic relationships. And I'm wondering if that's what that is. It's a trauma bond. And it's like, there are people that would seem kind of compatible, but it's like in a kind of toxic way, and it's kind of doomed to fail. It's like they are, I don't know, maybe a karmic relationship is different, but that's another one that's like doomed to fail. It's like I don't know, but I've seen some stuff on karmic relationships, but it's just I'm not really big into like spirituality, that there's some kind of deeper meaning behind your relationship and all of that, because you got all this stuff about twin flames and soulmates and stuff like that, but it's like, to me it's a bit of airy-fairy spiritual stuff, and it's like, I mean, I'm open-minded, but yeah. Does a man who is working on himself beyond dating apps. I mean, if not, how is a person supposed to learn how to talk to all sorts of women, be it good or with a massive ego? Any take on this? Good question. I mean, yeah, I think it's just good to have, like, talk with just anybody really, and just be, just have normal conversations with people, and, through that, like I was saying, maybe like going to different groups and meeting people that way. And I don't think people should just be going completely monk mode and, exit in society. Because the thing is, you might be able to meet people who could actually benefit your business endeavors. So by completely shutting yourself off from society, I don't think it's a good idea. And if you want to do, say, for example, like a coaching business, I think it's actually a good idea to learn social skills. I think it would actually help with converting more clients, because if you learn how to, talk to your potential clients like a human being, you learn how to, to talk to them with respect, and, that you learn how to, just not come across as like a, needy, or, to give out any red flags or anything like that. You have to come across as, to calm and relaxed, and, learn how to convey your message in a concise and captivating way. You have to learn to find the balance of that, and to captivate your audience whilst keeping it concise and to the point. So I think talking to people, learning these social cues and stuff like that can really help with that. So cutting yourself off from society, I don't necessarily think is a good idea. For some people, depending on the type of business you're doing, maybe that's a good idea. If you want to do drop shipping or something where you're not necessarily dealing with, customers and stuff. Well, I mean, you will still deal with customers, but you might not necessarily be, having that human to human interaction so much with them. And because a lot of it, when it comes to things like coaching or mentoring, is about like, having that, like the human to human interaction, being, treating them like a human being rather than a robot. Because the problem is a lot of, like people doing sales and stuff like that, they're treating the people like robots. They don't know how to treat them like a human being, and like that. Just go with the flow when it comes to dating. It should be natural from both sides, right? I think just be yourself really about dating. You shouldn't really be worrying about the dating stuff. It should just come naturally. Don't force it. The more you try to force something to happen, the more it will repel it. It will actually, repel the outcome. The more you focus on it, which might sound counterintuitive, but that tends to be what happens. If you put too much pressure on yourself, it's stressing you out probably, and it's gonna make it harder to manifest. So the best thing you can be is just relax and just be in the present moment, and just appreciate all of the life experiences that you get from every day. Dating should not be your number one priority. Your number one priority should be success in whatever area that you want to be successful in, whether that's, your health, whether that's your, like your mental health, your physical health, getting your finances up so that you're more financially free, getting your business set up so that you're not, tied down to a particular location, perhaps, and you can just travel around, and you can travel, you do things on your own time and stuff like that. So you can be more fulfilled in life. You find your purpose, all that kind of stuff. So dating should be right down at the bottom, in my opinion. Dating should just be there to complement your already successful lifestyle, in my opinion. Of course, it would be nice if you could find someone who can rise up with you or support you on your way up, but that isn't guaranteed. I've not really got any plans for tomorrow. I was thinking about whether to go out busking again, but I've not decided for sure yet. But what about you? What is your plans for tomorrow? Yeah, it's supposed to be another scorcher tomorrow, I think, so let's have a look. Yeah, it's supposed to be pretty nice tomorrow again, so I'm not exactly sure. Might do some exercises tomorrow. Yeah, actually it's supposed to get a bit cooler tomorrow, so still going to be a good day, but yeah, still going to be warm, but yeah, not as hot as it is today though. I mean, the next few days are supposed to be pretty similar, like around 20 degrees, so yeah, summer's here, so that's good. Enjoy the the summer warm weather, but this can be a bit too warm for some people, but maybe you're a bit overweight. Just saying, it seems to be the people who are overweight that struggle the most in the heat. I had to bring up the elephant in the room, didn't I? Maybe if you lost a bit of weight, then that might help. Just saying. Of course, it's difficult for some people, I understand, but if you've got some problem, it's really making you suffer, then it's like you got to think about, like, is it worth? It's like if it's like I understand that people struggle with like with their eating habits and stuff like that, but if that condition you have right now with your weight and you've got all these problems with it, like, is it worth having that so that you can eat junk food and and live a sedentary lifestyle and all that? You got to weigh that up. I mean, you don't have to eat perfect. Just try and move more. Just try and slowly, increase your steps. I understand it can be difficult if you have a sedentary job, but when you get home, you could always just walk around the house more. Just do more laps. Do some laps around the house or something more. In fact, running up and down stairs is actually a good exercise. Yeah. You just take it at your own pace. Like, you don't have to do anything really extreme. Get yourself a push bike instead of driving to work. Ride your bike to work instead to burn some calories. So, taking the stairs instead of the lift or the elevator, or taking the stairs instead of the escalators, or it's just simple things like that you can add in some extra steps throughout your day. Like even things like having a standing desk at work instead of being sat down. I think they started to introduce that more. But yeah, I mean, it's just simple fixes that can add in some extra calorie burn, and it's just in fact, I think walking's been found to not really increase hunger. So if you want to like burn more calories without having ramped up hunger, ghrelin hormones, then yeah, walking and lower intensity cardio has been found to do that. But it's more when you get to like zone 3, 4, and 5. That's when you start to really ramp up your hunger. So you can actually it can actually counteract some of the benefits of it. So if you're trying to lose weight, some people find that they have ravenous hunger after doing a really hard, like HIIT cardio session or a really hard, resistance training session, because they're breaking down all this, muscle, and it's like the body needs to replenish all the, damaged tissue and stuff, and then it's like it gets really hungry, then it just, just want to eat and eat and eat. Whereas if you do stuff at a more, lower to moderate intensity, then it's not to a point where it's really catabolic. So, yeah. So that's what I would recommend. Added in more steps throughout the day. Maybe do some more, do some hiking, do some, cycling, swimming, whatever you enjoy doing. Even just doing things like, playing football or doing tennis or some kind of sport that encourages you to move around more. It could, it should be something fun, like, so, yeah. Yeah, that's everyone doing anyway. Sorry, my ear keeps itching. That's why gets a bit annoying, but yeah. I don't know why it keeps itching, but yeah. So how's everybody doing anyway? Hope you're all doing well. So there's this thing about, zone 2 cardio, but the fat burning zone. So yeah, there's something about if you do like, high intensity cardio that you're oxidizing glycogen. So like if you're doing anaerobic exercise, which is not good if you want to. Oh, like Anton, yeah. So if you're like trying to lose weight, training at a very high intensity might not be a good idea. If you're really going hard, like say if you're doing a sprint, if you're doing a lot of sprints and you're doing a lot of, really intense cardio and you're lifting really heavy weights or something like that, yeah, that's probably not going to be the best for fat loss, I don't think, because it's very it's very catabolic, very but I think if you're just doing a jog, you're not doing anything at a really high intensity, I think that would be okay. But they say that like zone 2 is like optimal. It might be because of like in terms of like you're sort of like you're burning a relatively good amount of calories without the negative effects. For someone whose first language is not English and is struggling to understand what people are saying here, United Kingdom, what do you reckon I should start doing? The slang and tonality, I mean, I don't know. But yeah, so so how are you doing, everybody? I hope you're all doing well. I mean, for some people, even like dancing could be a way to encourage more movement and help lose weight. So finding something that you enjoy, some kind of sport, some kind of hobby that gets you moving. It could be rowing, bowls, or whatever. Yeah. So there's something about like in zone 2, it has a increased ability to oxidize fat for fuel or something. Alright, see you later, Richard. So yeah, like, so I'm looking at, like, in terms of, like, what would be the optimal to recommend people who are trying to lose weight. What type of exercise would be the best? Some say walking would be best, but it could be argued that a jog might be better for some people because of. So this is, the talks about 50 to 70% of your maximum heart rate. That is like not like super intense. It's like you can still hold a conversation while you're doing that. So it says here you can still hold a light conversation in this zone. You may need to stop chatting for a beat occasionally to take a breath. So it's not like really like where you're going full on, like where you're like it's like gasping for air. Like that would be like Anyway. So I hope everyone's had a blessed day today. Yeah. But it's like, some people might think, oh, but, if you're in a, depleted calories, then you're not getting the energy to work out and stuff, but you're in like a more like moderate intensity exercise, you use fat for fuel. You'd be in like a ketosis state pretty much. So like you could do, you can go like I've remembered like being in a fasted state. I'd do, like jogs and stuff, and I'd be okay with that. It's when you're doing like really intense exercise, when your blood sugars are low, then you don't want to be going too hard with that. It actually went pretty good. Yeah, made quite a bit of money today. But yeah, Richard was helping me out earlier, the one that was in the chat. Exercise has the ability to either increase or decrease your appetite depending on the type of training you're doing. Physiology and your current diet, knowing how exercise affects your hunger can help you plan your pre and post workout nutrition as well as it. So I'm just looking at how does moderate exercise affect hunger? Let's have a look at this. So I've heard some claims that there's this like that exercise isn't good for weight loss. That's what I've heard some people say. But is that actually true? Moderate exercise has been shown to affect hunger, appetite, and calorie intake in various ways. Several studies have shown that most individuals don't experience compensatory changes in hunger after moderate intensity exercise. So it says don't experience compensatory changes. So it's probably more in vigorous exercise where you would see that, I'm guessing. I just remember there was this guy who was saying that he recommends that people only prioritize on diet to lose weight, but I think he recommended people moved more, but he seemed to be kind of demonizing exercise as a weight loss tool and saying how, because they're depleting their glycogen stores, but turns out, if you're doing exercise at a moderate intensity, that your body will use fat for fuel, which, it's called, basically, yeah, you're using ketone bodies as your fuel source in that state mainly. You're in that kind of moderate exercise. If you're doing like hard exercise, that's when you're using glycogen. You know, when you're doing anaerobic exercise, like I said, sprints. You know, if you're doing things like, you know, like hard, like weightlifting sessions and stuff, you're going to be getting into like glycogen, you know, sort of stores basically. So that's why you'll get like weightlifters loading up on glycogen before they work out. You know, they might take a, you know, banana, they have some, you know, fruit or something like that, you know, with their pre-workout or something, or whatever, the creatines or whatever they have before a workout. So yeah, that's you know, that's obviously very intense workouts. You know, when they're doing the squats and stuff and they're getting lactic acid. The lactic acid is actually a byproduct of glycogen, the oxidation. It's glycogen basically turns into pyruvate, which turns into lactic acid. So yeah, it's actually kind of toxic to the body. That's why when we have that lactic acid, it feels very uncomfortable. It's just not sustainable to keep building up lactic acid in our body. But some people have a better ability to deal with it, and I think over time your body can adapt to be more efficient at removing all this extra lactic acid out of it. So yeah, you just gotta keep training your body to get better and get stronger and more fit, so you can keep doing all the intense exercises and recover from them. But yeah, so I'm just having a look at like at this about exercise and you know, its effects on your hunger and all that. So it's talking about how exercise might affect our food choices and our weight. I mean, if you're doing a lot of cardio, it would make sense that your body would want to be quite lean for that, because you would be more efficient at, for example, if you're running, then you would be faster if you have less body fat. So, but of course, the body wants to stay alive. It doesn't want to like get to a really low body fat percentage. So you don't want to really be going below a certain point of your body fat percentage. You'll probably end up finding yourself very, very hungry, and you might even lose sleep. So yeah, you know, there's all these aesthetics being promoted of like bodybuilders and stuff, and they're, you know, single-digit body fat, but I don't think you really need to be getting down to that for like an aesthetic physique. I mean, you know, somewhere between maybe 10 to 15% is probably in the ideal range for, you know, aesthetics as well as health for most guys. So yeah, you just want to kind of balance out nutrition and exercise, I think, is what I would recommend. So yes, let's have a look. It's saying that if people of normal weight display less interest in high-fat, calorie-dense foods than inactive people who are obese. So that's interesting. So is it that it's altering the preferences in food, perhaps? Do people who exercise then crave different types of food, like more, carbohydrate rich foods rather than high fat foods, perhaps. I mean, it would make sense that you would need the carbohydrates to replace the lost glycogen. So, when your glycogen gets depleted, then you need to replenish it. Anyway, so talk about what is it? Let's have a look. I'm not reading through all that, so yeah. So I'm just wondering about that, whether any sort of exercise would be good for creating a calorie deficit, and some people seem to be successful at that. Maybe it depends on individual variations. Some people are more prone to having hunger spikes, with doing physical activity. So I guess it comes down to the individual. Everyone's got their own genetics. So what's this? Let's have a look. Why exercise makes me more hungry, and what to do. So it says, feeling hungry after a hard workout is natural. Most people experience this feeling, some even very strongly returning from the gym. Whatever the problem and its intensity, a question remains that what should you do when your stomach pressures you to attack the fridge? What's the best to do to calm your hunger and not waste any gains obtained from training with so much sweat and effort? But it starts to examine what causes this intense and almost invincible hunger. Just a while ago, you were sitting on a couch and you didn't want to go for a walk, and all of a sudden you decided, very well done, to put your body in a state of demanding and intense mobility. As expected, your organism feels this experience as a threat and asks for more energy through food to deal with it. You're about to understand what exactly is going on. Your organism realizes blah blah blah. So let's have a look. Is anyone still there? Let me know if you're still watching. I'm going to be getting off here in a sec anyway, but so let's see, what is it? Let's see what what the best suggestion is. Like, what is the best suggestion for the increased hunger after a workout? I think they said something about drinking more water. I mean, some say that just drinking more water helps to curb hunger. Sometimes we're not even hungry, we're just thirsty. Yeah. But yeah, maybe try and sort of eat the right types of food after a workout, the ones that are not too high in calories, the water-rich foods. Because maybe it's more to do with the type of food that you're eating after the workout that's the problem, and not the workout itself necessarily. Yeah. Anyway, so hope everyone's had a good day. I'm gonna get off here, but yeah, I'm gonna just try and keep researching and find what the best strategy for people, because the problem is if people are working out and then they're hungry afterwards, then something's obviously wrong, and they're kind of just, you could say they're wasting that workout, but I still think, you know, working out is good for you. It's good for your cardiovascular health. So, but if it is preventing you from losing weight, then yeah, you need to look at, you know, the strategy that you're using, and maybe tweaks things. Yeah. Hello, the glitch. I'm going to be getting off here in a second. So, right. Yeah, I'm not too bad, thank you. I went busking today, so, but I'm going to be calling it a night, I think. Just been trying to research into basically the compensatory effect of exercise, and whether, you know, moderate intensity exercise really ramps up hunger. I don't really experience hunger increases after an intense bout of, a moderately intense bout of exercise. Like, I think it's more when I do like a really intense bout of exercise that I would get increases in hunger. But everyone's different, so. Oh, Joe, yeah, I saw Joe earlier. Yeah, most people have gone now, so, but yeah. So what do you think about that then? Do you think exercise is a good tool for people who are trying to lose weight, or do you think that they should just mainly be concentrating on their diet and not? Some say just walking more would be advised and doesn't really increase hunger, whereas intense training can actually be kind of, you know, have this compensatory effect where you'll end up eating more calories to make up for the calories that you've burned. So yeah. Exercise is always good, but you can also fast to lose weight, detox with mineral water. Yeah, some people might struggle with fasting though. You know, because it's like you have to be willing to, you know, to not have food for like days or whatever. And yes, I mean, it's just about trying to focus on like what type of foods you're eating and have more fruit and veg. Find the ones that you actually enjoy, so it doesn't even feel like a diet. You can prepare foods in a way that it doesn't even feel like you're on a diet. It just like will be, you know, just add more, yeah, add some, you know, berries into it, add some, you know, you could have some, you know, berry porridge or something like that, and then you could have, yeah, whatever you know, it's like you can eat to like a, you know, fruit salad, or you know, stuff that's relatively low in calories. For example, one quiche gives you 1080 calories, so 2 of them a day is all you need, but a balance is good. It's hard to meet your daily calories with veg and fruit. I eat meat, but rarely, right? Yeah, I'm talking about, you know, people trying to lose weight, then fruit and veg would be good for them, but yeah, like, I mean, nuts are a good source of calories if you're trying to add weight on. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to have to wrap this up. Alright, take care. I'll be back tomorrow. Bye.